Okay, today we're going to look at how to complete a handle identification sheet, and this is shown in the front of the Eurocell catalogue on this particular page, but in order to make it easier to follow, we'll work with a full A4 size document. Okay, in working to this document, the first thing we need to complete is the name and address, which is easy to do, and thereafter we move into measuring particular dimensions on an handle set. And the first dimension is dimension A, and if I pick up an handle set for us to work through, then we can start measuring those dimensions. Okay, so first one is dimension A, that's spindle to key, and that is where you insert the 8mm spindle drive. So from the centre of the spindle drive to the centre of the Euro profile prep, that there is 92mm. The second dimension is dimension B, and that's screw to screw, and that is the position of the screw fixings on the handle set. And as you can see on this particular backplate, the dimensions are 210mm, that's 210mm dimension B, screw to screw. In looking at the third dimension, dimension C, that's the top screw to spindle. So again, the top fixing hole to the centre of where the 8mm square drive is fitted, and again measuring that dimension there, which is always a little bit difficult to measure. That's circa 75mm. Okay, so the last one to do is dimension D, and that's the overall backplate length. So again, complete backplate top to bottom, and that's 245mm. The last dimension on there, dimension E, relates to a front door application, and that's a typical lever pad and what we would term as a 92/62. In order to calculate that dimension, instead of using the detail at the bottom left, we have to work with the detail on the bottom right. And again, the dimension is taken from the 8mm square drive to the dimension of the offset, and on completing that, that will tell you whether it's a 92/62 or another type or variant. The other two boxes to complete are handle type, shown here. Is it a short back plate? Yes or no. Is it a long back plate? Yes or no. In order to decipher what's a long or a short back plate, we have one of each hand here. A short back plate, as it says, is a shorter back plate with a fixing underneath the handle, and a long back plate is a longer back plate again with the fixing above. And if you put the two together, you can see the short back plate to the left, the long back plate to the right, and that's how you decipher which is a short, which is a long back plate. The last box on the sheet is a sprung handle required, yes or no. In the case of the two handles here that we stock and sell, the short back plate and the long back plate, both of these handles come with spring modules fitted. The spring module operating the lock, so that the lock, once operated, springs back to the mid position, whether it's operated in the open or closed position. On completing the sheet, it then needs scanning and sending back to us for assessment, at which point we can tell you which handle set is required. A copy of the identification sheet used in this video can be found in the front of the Eurocell Hardware catalogue, or downloaded from the Eurocell Hardware website at eurocell-hardware.co.uk.